Yo, what's up? It's DNA for sure. And this video is about self destruction. Now, before I give you any information on what I am going to on this topic, I would like to remind everybody to take a look at my hair and what I'm doing, and my mustache, and this big ass nose ring. And I want you guys to remember that I'm not a doctor, so I don't want anybody to turn me into Marilyn Manson or Eminem because I didn't tell you to do anything. I don't want you to fucking let me diagnose you or anything like that. But one of the little homies has an issue, as well as somebody else that I'm really close to. They have an issue with cutting, with deliberately delivering self well wounds on their body. They cuts. You take a razor or your scissors and you slice, usually on the appendages, on the arms or the legs, and they cut themselves. And it's more prevalent in the I'm not saying that all white people cut themselves. I'm not saying that. But it's more prevalent in communities that are abundant, and most people that live in abundance in this country are white people. And I'm not, again, all the people that I know that have told me that they cut were actually minorities and actually have had ties to Africa in some way. So I don't want you to think that I think that all white people cut. I don't think that. I've never even met a white person that cut before. I met one white person that self-destructed, that had self-inflicted wounds on them, and that was my cousin's friend named Bobby. He burned himself with cigarettes. Whatever. And cutting things like this, self-destruction. It's a lot of people that I know that do drugs and drink because they want the attention. They want to be known as the person that's always turning up, even if they don't want to fucking drink. There's people that spend all their money on clothes and Michael Kors and Victoria's Secret and things that they can't afford, and maxing out even though they know they have kids, or that's all self-destructive behavior. And the thing about self-destructive behavior, cutting, burning, overspending, you want somebody to look at you. There's nobody in the history of man that has ever done anything self-destructive deliberately that didn't want somebody to fucking see it. If you cut yourself, if you burn yourself, if you do anything deliberately to wound or harm yourself, it's because you want somebody to see it. You're wearing long sleeves all day and fucking pants instead of shorts because you cut yourself on your leg. You're joking. You're lying to yourself. You know? You want somebody to see it one day and give you love or feel pity or say, you know what? You need to just fucking kill yourself. And to be totally honest with you, when I was in high school, I didn't cut. But I got in an accident where it didn't even look like cutting, because when people cut themselves, there's scars that come outside of the skin that are, you can feel them. I don't know the fucking word for it, but there's scars that heal on top of the skin. It looks different from if you just cut yourself on accident, as opposed to you taking a blade and running it across your skin deep. Anybody who has had a deep wound or anything like that knows what I'm talking about. It turns a darker color on your skin, usually, if you do it deeply and slowly, and it just looks different from a normal wound. And it's usually in a certain pattern. But I got in an accident and I had like 3 cuts that looked like fucking Wolverine scratched me. Wolverine's 3-month-old son scratched the fuck out of me. And I went to this white boy and I was like, yo, bro, I cut. What should I do? And he looked at me. I was a little bit more sensitive back then. He looked at me. He said, yo, you know what? You should just fucking kill yourself. And I was thinking, like, if I cut and I came to this dude, because I didn't know him like that. I think I had like 2 or 3 classes with him. He's a fucking famous Canadian hockey player right now, because I went to the good school. But he said, yo, you should just fucking kill yourself. And I never really thought about that until maybe a couple months ago. Why would he say some shit like that to me if he thinks that I have some kind of problem going on in my life to the point where I feel like I need to cut myself? And I met this girl. I met about close to 10 people that cut themselves, and it's all been the same. These people need attention. You're lacking attention, you're lacking confidence, and you need somebody to fucking look at you. You want somebody to see those scars. Turn that shit into fucking comedy. You think Kevin Hart cut himself? He could have. I don't know Kevin Hart. All these entertainers, everybody has some kind of self-destructive habit, will, or is not living the healthiest that they can live. And that's what you have in common with everybody. Nobody's perfect. Everybody needs attention on some level. You're a human being. If I take you and I put you in solitary confinement and you don't meditate and you don't know how to meditate and you don't know shit about breathing exercises, you're gonna fucking go insane and you're gonna start doing some shit, because as a human being, you need to be able to express yourself and have your opinions and your life, your emotions acknowledged, even if they're not accepted, even if they're rejected all day. You need to experience either acceptance, rejection, or acknowledgement. If that doesn't happen, you are going to go clinically insane. And by you cutting yourself and doing things that are destructive, self-destructive, you're setting yourself up for mental illness. Every time that you smoke a cigarette, every time that you cut yourself, every time that you burn, every time that you get a $400 check and buy a $300 Michael Kors bag, when your fucking phone bill is due in 3 days and you got $400 worth of bills, and you're doing something destructive, you're setting yourself up. You're getting one step closer to becoming mentally ill. One step closer to becoming clinically insane, clinically depressed, OCD, developing all kinds of personality disorders. And one's a big symptom of something called borderline personality disorder is self-destructive activity. Borderline personality disorder is basically when you experience all personality disorders and a sprinkle of mental illnesses here and there. You're a schizoid, you're OCD, you're bipolar, you're there's 7. I can only remember 3. But you're codependent. The reason that you do this it's because you have self-esteem issues, confidence issues, or you have issues with yourself. You feel like you're stifled. You don't love yourself because you would rather inflict pain on yourself than go to a therapist. You would rather inflict pain on yourself than go outside and interact with people. And somebody that I knew, a friend that I had way back when, she used to cut themselves whenever I had to go, whenever I couldn't talk, whenever I would have to go home. She would cut herself and send me pictures of this shit. And the more that I acknowledged it, the more she would do it when I couldn't talk, which made me want to read about it and ask people about it. You don't want to kill yourself. You want to bleed. I watched a movie called 13. That's one of my favorite movies. I'm not afraid to say that. I saw it when I was like 14, and I could relate to it a lot. But every time this chick in the movie, Tracy, felt neglected, she would go to her cutter kit and cut herself. I read books about this. I read a lot when I was a teenager. It's all about you loving yourself. How do you stop cutting? Learn how to express yourself. And when people don't accept your shit, everybody doesn't have to like you. Your life would be a lot worse if everybody did like you. Trust that. Nobody likes anybody who everybody likes. If you meet somebody and you want to be friends with them and you don't feel like somebody could dislike them, don't fuck with them. If you feel like, okay, anybody in the whole world, Hitler would love this guy, Obama would fuck with this dude, Kim Kardashian would suck him up, don't fuck with him. If you think that Hitler and Obama would be best friends with this person, don't fuck with them. Because that motherfucker's crazy. And he's going to be really bad for your fucking mental health. Learn to accept adversity, diversity. Learn to love war. Love to learn dancing. Learn to love yourself. If you want to stop cutting, gain some confidence, some self-esteem. Learn about effective communication. Learn about mental health issues. Learn about personality disorders. Stop being so selfish and thinking that everybody has to like you, love you, and you don't get enough attention. And all that attention that you don't get, help somebody who's much more fucked up than you. Go to an animal shelter and help some fucking animals that are due to be euthanized. Go to a fucking homeless shelter. And I'm not saying that, you should compare yourself to people. There's little kids in Africa who have to walk 5 miles. Don't do that. But there's people who need your fucking help, that want your attention, and you're just because you want this one chick's attention, or you want this guy's attention, or you want your mom's attention or your dad's attention, they don't give it to you. Fuck it. Don't cut yourself. When you cut yourself, you're fucking up your brain. If you cut yourself, you might as well do the hardest drug you can think of, and then do a drug harder than that. Make it yourself. Come up with a new drug that's harder than crack and heroin and meth put together. Make that drug and do it for the rest of your life. That's what you're doing when you cut yourself. Somebody needs your attention. Somebody would love to have your attention. Don't chase them, but find them. Go to a homeless shelter. Go to a motherfucking animal shelter and make yourself useful. Don't cut yourself. Love yourself. That's DNA for short, aka Ra, comma. Kiss the cuts. I love you. I do. I love you. Bye.